Hey, hey, hey! Happy New Year, everybody!
Happy New Year!
New year, new pod episode. If you haven't picked it up on the last episode, I got a new mic. Sounded fresh.
Sound good.
Yeah, here we are, back for more. We survived New Year's.
Some didn't.
Some didn't. We had a great time, though.
New Year's was very fun.
Nice.
Great New Year's. Yeah, I mean, good to see all you guys. Good to see all the homies come through, and then soccer the next morning, which was, I think we could all agree, one of the most boring days of football we've had this year. Unfortunately, the one day that we've watched really together in the last 5 years, we saw a total of 2 goals in 4 matches, which is insane.
You know, I often wonder on like a Boxing Day or New Year's Day how professional these players can be, right? Because it's like they're all young, early to mid 20s for the most part. Are you professional enough to like turn down the parties and turn down the staying up late or whatever? I don't know. I mean, the performances New Year's Day, I think, said otherwise. I think they were maybe not partying, but maybe not taking as much pre-match care of themselves as they normally would.
I don't disagree with that at all. They're lucky those games are in the evening. I can't imagine if they had to get up for those games at an AM time. That just seems brutal. But yeah, I think these games that come on a major holiday or right afterwards, there's definitely some sluggishness going on there, and you could see it in most of these games. I mean, there's a reason why we only had 2 goals scored, and you know, on the first. And so I don't know, interesting day of footy. Some results that we liked.
Yeah, absolutely. Some
firings that we had seen coming for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. And then they finally happened, but definitely caught us off guard. So I don't know if we want to start with who got fired or just the whys and the hows, and you know,
I mean, yeah, might as well. It kind of I mean, I think the Chelsea one is the one that will kind of maybe has changed our talking points on this episode.
Yeah, considering last episode, we kind of went in on Chelsea because we hadn't in a long time, and because they were putting up mediocre performances, right? But to think their manager would walk in to, we assume, the managerial boardroom and say, "I want out," and they basically say, "Sure thing," and you know, Maresca's gone. What day did he leave? It was like what, on the 31st? What was his last day?
Maybe 31st. I think it was right after that Bournemouth game, basically, it sounded like. Yes, maybe 31st, maybe the 1st.
It was New Year's Day. It was the 1st, yeah.
Okay.
So Happy New Year. That's a rough way to go. But it kind of sounded like he forced it a little bit.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of pick out what actually happens. But kind of from what I gathered was, you know, he's kind of been playing by Chelsea's rules and expectations, and as I think most players and coaches, they want to continue to improve and, you know, fight for bigger and better trophies. And it sounds like he was kind of ready to make that move, and it I don't know, the board or ownership or someone was I guess maybe not as like ready to back him in that sense, and wanted to kind of keep it status quo. That's kind of what I got from it. I'm sure the results played a part in there too, but it sounds like they were almost telling him who he can and can't play at times too.
Right. And he was, of course, in rumors about Manchester City just a couple weeks prior. So now the big rumor is, if Pep leaves, is he going to be the one to go to City? I think it's possible. I'm not going to rule that one
Yeah.
out. The timing is definitely suspicious here, right?
Mm.
It's if Pep has an off year, if Pep doesn't win this year, he does have a contract till 2027, but who's to say he doesn't leave early and Maresca comes in here and takes the job? Would I be surprised? No. I'm just more surprised that on New Year's Day, Chelsea lost their manager. And the biggest surprise, I think, too, was a lot of the players said nothing but good things about it,
Yeah.
which I was surprised. A lot of them came up on social media and said, thank you, basically, to sum it up. And then we see Chelsea bring up their U21 manager, which was again an interesting replacement for right now. I just don't know what. Again, this all comes back to our last episode. Like, what is Chelsea doing here again? Right?
Yeah. So I kind of came to the decision that, kind of as we talked about last time, of like either you do something or you just become this high-end reseller of players, which kind of feels like that's what they're going for. So I think from here on forward, I'm just going to call them Blue Co. Since they want to be an investment holding company.
Nice.
Here's your investment holding team. It's just it's a weird spot. Like, I mean, obviously we don't know everything that went on, but it seems like Maresca just left in frustration and anger and just kind of over it, right? Where, okay, maybe I don't know what the ownership or board would be thinking. Like, if the coach or manager comes to you and is like, pumped up on wanting to take this next step or try something different to get us to the next level, or whatever it might be, I would think you would be kind of pumped up on that too. It's better performances, more money, better players want to come to you, whatever. So whatever happened there, it didn't seem to end all that well on either side. It's just Chelsea being Chelsea these days. Sorry, Blue Co.
Blue Co. Yeah, I mean, and they're still in Champions League too, and sitting fifth at the time of letting him go. So the season wasn't like a complete failure. Things were maybe a little rocky, but at what point has any team had a perfect season? I mean, we're now seeing City kind of being iffy. Liverpool went through its problems. Even Aston Villa getting absolutely demolished by Arsenal. Arsenal's had pretty much the I don't want to call it the perfect season, but one to take note of, right?
Yeah, and even in there's been plenty of performances just straight by.
Sure, right. So, and then City comes in and plays Chelsea, and they get the draw there, which was huge. I don't know, I try to think like, well, if Maresca was still there, would Chelsea have gotten that draw? And it's hard to say, but I do think a new manager coming in, I think the players want to almost get like a fresh start, right? So they might have that little extra juice, little pep in their step, and to give City a draw here, I mean, fantastic. Everyone was super stoked. A little shocking, I think. City had control of that game, and they kind of just
absolutely
fell apart in that last 2 minutes there. But yeah, that was a fun match to watch. I mean, had us on our edge of our seats for most of that game because we were just begging Chelsea to do something and to not get them literally do anything. And last minute they pulled through. So,
and I love that even the goal was this like weird sloppy, like gotta take two or three attempts to get it in.
Slop. And I will say that the network who was airing that game they gave us no good replay of that final goal to see how sloppy it actually was.
Yeah.
Because when they were doing the VAR check on, I was like, wouldn't shock me if a ball ricocheted off someone and someone was offside. So for it to stand was surprising and made me quite happy.
Yeah. No, it was great. I mean, from an Arsenal perspective, obviously a draw is, I mean, a loss is best, but a draw is certainly something we'll take. So thank you for that, Enzo Fernandez, doing
huge,
doing something right there at the end. But I mean, yeah, it was really City's game here, and just kind of surprising how, I don't know, they never really seem to get going. I guess there was like moments like with their goal. I think that's probably the only time they really looked like overly like fluid and everyone on the same page and trying to, move the ball forward. But otherwise, it just seemed like almost just punch it up to Holland, hope he does something,
Yep.
which is not a bad strategy, but we've seen it sometimes work, and I'd say I guess more often these days not work. Like teams are better at defending him than that first season. But
He had a couple of moments in that game though where he kind of put his head down
Mhm.
and started to run, and it was some slight moments,
Mhm.
but they cleaned up. It wasn't could have been much worse. I think City's probably kicking themselves that they didn't put more pressure into that final third, right? 'Cause I think the opportunities were there, but that's just one game, and then our next firing, Amorim. This should have happened a long time ago.
Absolutely.
The fact that it dragged on through the holiday, you made this man work on Christmas and New Year, and then all of a sudden you say, you know what? You ain't the one. It's like we knew that. We knew
Yeah.
that like in September. And so for United to do this now, with their two best players, not maybe three. Diallo can be up there, maybe
Yeah.
for third, but to not have Mbumo and Fernandez and get fired during this time, it makes no sense to me. I don't understand what they're doing. United is gonna just, they're just gonna hope their players can make it through the month of January and get Mbumo back and see what can happen. But if I have stock in United right now, I'm selling it all.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, like you said, they're missing key players, but also you've seen Amorim want to play this 3-4-3 the entire time. I think he changed like 2 games ago for that single game, and it actually went well. But then he went right back to the
Yep.
3-4-3, which I think is he probably came in with that same idea of this is how I'm gonna play, and if you don't want to support it, then I'm not your guy. But they signed him, and he's stuck to his guns, right? The whole time he's been 3-4-3 is gonna work. Just we gotta get there, sort of thing. Obviously, it never really did, and I think some of that is just the team, chemistry and team makeup, and the players they brought in aren't exactly set and ready for that kind of system.
Sure.
But again, you've stuck with him this long. Is it worth on maybe your best season under him? Like now you back out? I can see if you take it till summer and even regardless how it ends, you're just kind of done with it. That's cool. But like, I mean, I guess the only upside is you have this new manager gap to fill, and it's during the winter window. So if you need to bring in a player or two to help the new guy out, you can. But
Well, and Amorim's complaint, which is arguably the reason why I got fired, was he doesn't get any say in the players he gets to bring in. I mean, that he wasn't bending the knee, essentially. So but when is he ever, right? It's kind of been his way, and the board has known that. So now for it to happen here, I mean, it complicates things at United. If it wasn't complicated already, it's just what does this team like? Everyone's got to be scratching their heads now. It's like, okay, we were with this guy for a year and a half. We got nothing. Like, what a giant waste of time we just had trying to support this manager, support the system, and then we kind of just we're trying to lean into it. We've arguably the best we've been since he's been here, and then after 2 draws, arguably tough draws, right, against the Wolves, yikes, and then Leeds, who to be fair, Leeds has been tough. We've seen other teams kind of struggle against Leeds, but again, 2 bottom of the table teams. It's just not a good look, and I guess if this was the time for him to be let go during this game stretch because you're losing these games, fine. But the circumstances with his squad, that's what bugs me the most. It's like he didn't have his A squad out there.
Yeah.
The quality was definitely better, right? You could argue the quality was better than the other teams, but the timing is just suspect. Who do they bring in? Big question mark. Too,
and I think you, like, I would hope you have someone lined up, like it seems like Blueco does. But, like, I feel like these big teams that are, I mean, I guess it's almost just United at this point, but these big teams that are going through, like, really rough patches and have been for a long time, you've kind of gone through the book of managerial talent to bring in, right? You almost have to hope that you can bring someone in maybe less experienced, but like they just kind of click with the team or with the board, I guess, maybe, and can get something going. Because I mean, if you're a top manager, do you want to come in and deal with the frustration of this club? And I mean, I guess it's maybe an easy payday if you get let go, so that could work in your favor. But I just think they put themselves in such a tough spot, especially mid-season. I'm sure obviously they'll find someone, but I think you're kind of relying on the Man United name and being in the Premier League, and like, I don't know if a lot of people will be jumping at it to come here, unless they seek them out and offer a really nice pay package.
De Zerbi was rumored. Tuchel was rumored. It'd be hilarious to see him maybe leave England to go to United. I'm not really sure how that'll work as an international manager. Do you have to give up your international duties to go be a club coach? Sure. Yeah.
Because I don't think he would, because you're in a World Cup year. Like,
right.
England will have on paper we'll have a good squad. It's just, let's see if they can all work together. So yeah, if you have to give up that spot to manage a club, this is not the year for that.
There's no chance Maresca goes there, right?
I don't think so. I mean, if he was frustrated with Chelsea's ownership and board, I don't think United's going to be any better.
Whole nother level. Yeah, so that, again, another hot mess. I mean, Amorim looked stoked. We talked about this earlier. He was dapping up paparazzi outside of his house. He's like, I just became much wealthier. My headache is gone.
Yeah.
It would be really satisfying to see him go to another club and just succeed, because that just seems to be what every United player, not so much coach, but mostly player, go on to do. So yeah,
I don't doubt that he can put out a good team. I know, Portugal's a different league and a weaker league, but he had a team performing at a great level there. And I think if he has the right fit and the right players, like, he can make something happen. I think United maybe has ownership and board maybe have like their view of how United should play, and maybe thought they could just, like, all right, Amorim, come and do your thing, but like, we're really gonna force you to come around to our style of play. And he was just not that guy. Yep. So who knows? But he looked excited today. It was
very different.
Not even one thought of like, damn, that sucks. He was like, this is great.
He didn't look disappointed at all, which is a big red flag if you're any coach that is going in to take that job. Yeah, definitely surprising. And then another headline, just full of headlines this week. After 20 matches, Chad, the Wolves finally get their 3 points with the victory over West Ham. I think that is the most satisfying game we had over the week. 3-0.
Is this a sackable result?
Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
For sure. So that's what I was kind of going to say. Like, we got a couple more managers on this hot seat right now. Nuno already been fired once this year. if he loses, now he plays Forest this week, tomorrow, in fact. If he loses that game tomorrow, he's gone. He's gone. There's no shot. You can't lose against your former team and also lose in the same week to the worst team, arguably in history of the Premier League.
Yeah, it's and like you haven't been playing well anyway.
No,
These are not two little blips. Like
we have argued for the Wolves, saying they've been playing a lot better in recent weeks, right? Scaring Arsenal, scaring Liverpool just a little bit, making United sweat. They probably could have won that game, and then of course just coming out and demolishing the Hammers. It makes sense. I mean, the Wolves, I think we're hearing so much about being the worst team. It finally made them realize that they should probably do something about it. And like this stretch had the most opportunity for them. Like right now, I feel like they still know they're going to get relegated. Who knows? They're not too far behind at this point, right? If we want to get truly crazy, they are 12 points behind Forest. Forest would have to be, again, historically bad for this to happen. Wolves would have to pick up a lot of points from games that they've already lost to these teams in this season already. But
yeah,
it would make a fantastic story. And getting it started against Nuno just makes sense. But yeah, so going back to Forest and West Ham, I feel like if he hasn't gotten fired yet, right, Nuno. But if this game happens and they lose it, or even draw it, I think it's a must-win right now for the West Ham. If he doesn't get it, he's gone. He's gone for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you had won against Wolves, I think you can maybe eat a loss against Forest. But at this point, if you lose against Forest, you're still at 14 points. They go up to 21. Like, and that's your next closest. That's getting out of relegation. And these are the two teams that are right around you and Burnley that, you need to get a result against. And you already missed one. And I'm not really confident you're going to get the other. Even though Forest has been on a kind of a poor run themselves lately. But, man, it's just week after week, I feel like I see the West Ham highlights and it's just bad, and I feel like it gets worse and worse. And if it's not Jared Bowen doing something, he's trying his darndest out there, but it just is. He's one guy. This team is just not. They're not somehow just not ready for Premier League anymore. It's.
Callum Wilson wants out. Fulkrug just got transferred to AC Milan, so like this team is kind of getting bled dry essentially of players that want to be there. You could say Paqueta is a hit or miss depending on what day depending on what day it is, he might get a good performance, but Bowen has been the most consistent. I think if West Ham is going to do anything managerial wise, it's going to be after this week, because the next couple games they're going to go to, Chad, I think it's going to be a bit of a struggle for them, right? They go see Tottenham. I don't expect Tottenham to be anything fantastic against them, but you never know. But then they go Sunderland, Chelsea, big game against Burnley. Then they got United, Bournemouth, Liverpool. So it's still going to be like a roller coaster stretch for them. And
yeah,
I feel like if you get a manager in after, we'll just call it after they lose to Forest, vibes won't be as down. Maybe a little bit more energy gets brought in there because Nuno has gotten 2 wins in his tenure there. So it's just been rough. It's just been rough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about West Ham. It's
disappointing.
I'm more pumped up on Wolves now.
Yep.
This is I don't know if they can make that climb. It would be incredible if they do, but at this point, you're building up some good steam heading into the City game on the 24th, and I need you to do something again for them. So, yeah, it's. I think Nuno's probably out the door, almost regardless of how the Forest game goes. Like, West Ham can't be happy with how things have gone. Again, I don't know who you look to bring in necessarily. Maybe you just interim manager to the end of the season. If you survive, great. If not, you got more money probably than most of those championship teams, so you can bring in an experienced championship manager at least to get you right back up. But
Yep.
or try to, I guess. But you'll have to sell off a good chunk of your squad, I assume as well. But yeah, it's I'll keep an eye on that game tomorrow, but it's just I think it's going to be bad all around.
Chad, I got a feeling we're going to keep snowballing on managerial firings in this next month. I mean,
probably. Yeah.
I'm going to jump to it, and I don't think he deserves to be fired, but I think impatience is such a key word to these teams. And I think Thomas Frank is next on the block. And this is where the timeline, right? If Nuno gets fired from West Ham after this next game, West Ham goes and plays Tottenham. If Tottenham loses that game against West Ham, it's just a domino effect, right? It's like, okay, is that a fireable offense now for Frank? Possibly.
Yeah,
it sucks. I hope it doesn't happen because now he's getting the injury bug here, and players are kind of dropping out left and right. I think we saw this like 2 or 3 years ago, where all of a sudden there were there were 30 managers in a season. I think half of them got fired in one season. Yeah. And you saw multiple firings for one team, hence the 30 managers that were involved. I don't know. I feel like we're on that timeline again because now Slot's on the hot block, and it's like I kind of get that one too. It's and Oliver Glasner with Crystal Palace. They're on terrible form. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be weird. Yeah. I think this month is weird, and it's not going the way teams expected it to. Considering how many teams have dropped in the table.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think risen. You can add Areola from Bournemouth to that. Like, they started real hot and have dropped off, and if now you're maybe losing Semenyo, that's a big loss for you. Can you pick up some new form off of just like, all right, he's gone, like someone has to step up? I don't know, but it is kind of this weird domino effect, I think is a good way to phrase it. Like, it's gonna continue to happen as teams fight to stay up, and I think it just depends what these teams want. Like, your Tottenhams and Palace, I think you've got enough separation that it would have to be catastrophic results for you to get close to relegation at this point. But Tottenham at least expects to be at least top half of the table. Probably higher, but again, it's a team that's had players come in for 4 or 5 different play styles now under 4 or 5 different managers. So it's a weird mishmash. Add in all the injuries, it's not an easy job, and I think, like I said before, you just kind of have to maybe take this season and let Thomas Frank kind of work it out. Like, it's not fun to watch. It sucks to see your team do poorly or just like not perform well and not play the attacking football that you're used to under Ainge and all that. But like, I think he's a good enough manager to right the ship a little bit, but he just will need time. And I think any manager would need time with what Tottenham has right now.
I think Frank's kicking himself a little bit for having to leave Brentford, considering how well they're doing right now. It's like, yeah, you could say like they might not have done that well either if he was there, but seeing them in the top half, seeing that's essentially what you've created, right? Like, most of that team is you created it outside of Mbumo and Wisa and maybe a couple other pieces, right? And now Brentford has taken like this next leap, right? It's fun to see them perform and score goals and win. I don't think we've ever seen Brentford this high. I mean, they are now 4 points away from a Champions League spot. When you say that out loud, it sounds crazy, right?
Yeah,
So to be in Frank's position, to be sitting 13th on a Tottenham team that is just unpredictable and not that exciting, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Especially when Brentford's putting up 4 goals or 4 goals in the last, I think, 4 games. They've scored 4 against Bournemouth, 4 against Everton. You know, they could have maybe won a couple here and there, but doing the right things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
interesting team.
even New Year's Day is Brentford versus Tottenham. So there was Thomas Frank's return to Brentford and ended 0-0. So I guess that's maybe, considering where Brentford is, a decent result.
I'm
But I would.
I'm calling sluggishness on the first.
Oh yeah, I'm
Right.
sure that's certainly a aspect there. But yeah, I think if you had to put money on a next manager to go, it's probably him. I keep seeing videos of fans booing him at the end of games
Yep.
now, and plenty of people on the subreddit are like ready for him to go and have been ready for him to go. But again, there's obviously always other managers out there, but I think it's just it's hard to do it mid-season if you don't have someone just lined up ready to go that will come in and if not improve results, at least just like stabilize the club. And you don't got a Sean Dyche for that. He's busy. He's trying to fight to stay alive again. But it's I don't know. I think you ride it out. I think it's it's a tough spot. I mean, easy to say from our perspective of being at like relatively safe and stable at the top, and but I think it just Tottenham needs a period of just a manager they can trust, who they like how he plays and like how he develops players, and start to like build a team with him and try and move forward, because otherwise it's just going to be this. I mean, it's already a repeating cycle, but it'll just continue of you got Ainge players and Frank players and whoever the next guy's players, and just this weird mishmash, and then here we are.
That's what makes me fearful for Liverpool, saying we need to change from slot. I don't want to be this club that every year we don't win something to be changing up the managers. I get
Yeah.
how the formations and the players that we've had on the pitch have been. It feels weird, right? It doesn't feel like we're at our best, and now we have McAllister coming out and saying those exact words publicly, which is not my favorite thing in the world. But I don't want to be this club that just has turnover. And if you look at the top 3 teams, those managers have been there for a minute. They've installed this culture, right? They've had players buy into the system, and look where they are now. I mean, Aston Villa was good, but they weren't top 3 good 2 or 3 seasons ago, right? And now consistently staying at the top. And then we had Klopp forever. Now we have Slot went in with Liverpool, and then right under that, right, we go Chelsea, United, Brentford, Sunderland, Newcastle. Outside of Eddie Howe and Newcastle, we've had a lot of turnover, right? I guess Fulham. I think Fulham has given Silva the most patience, which is a good thing, right?
Absolutely.
And now we're seeing Fulham actually kind of do okay right now. They're definitely on the come up out of all these teams, but stability is so key. And I feel like when these teams just start axing their managers, even though they're in a rebuilding phase, right? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm not calling the Wolves rebuilding. I'm not saying the West Ham's rebuilding, right? They've been in the Premier League for a long time. I think it's their time to reset, right? And I think they did. I think they did everything they could right now to save the reset. But it's you need to accept it, right?
Yeah, and I think for Slot to come through that absolutely like terrible period. And, now it looks like the team is playing well. And yeah, there's still going to be bumps in the road, and especially with injuries and, Salah away at AFCON and all that. Like, it's not going to be a perfect season, but I just think back to when Arsene Wenger left Arsenal and Emery came in there. It feels that same, like, impossible to fill those shoes. I know Slot won the league last year, but it was like, this feels like it's Slot's first true year, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
More of his team rather than the holdover of Klopp's team. And I mean, I don't know if he's the guy or he's not the guy, but I think he's doing a pretty decent job now. I think he's certainly learning all as he goes of how this team needs to play and who he can trust. And sometimes, you got to be ruthless. And if that's dropping Salah for a couple games, then so be it. I mean, I don't think he would have expected the interview to come out, but yeah, that's just part of the drama of it.
He handled it pretty good though. Like, looking back, it's been about a month now. Like, that whole situation could have been so much worse. And yeah, are we playing our best? No, but like, now we're at a point where we're running out of forwards. It's like, shoot, man, like, who's up? And I hope Rio gets some more time here. I think he needs to. I think he needs to come in. We need to see what he can do. Yeah, I think we got to survive this month. And now Salah is scoring goals for Egypt. Dude, he scored a great goal for Egypt on a great counterattack. And I'm like, where's our counterattacks? Like, we need to get back to that. And that's something that we've rarely seen Liverpool do, right? It's a slow build up the field, pass back, slow build up, pass back. And I would love to see us get back to our roots. Maybe when Salah returns, we can all get a little reminder that that's what made him so good, was these runs.
Yeah.
So yeah, frustrating week for Liverpool. 2 draws, no losses, still sitting 4th. I just think we could have been in a lot better situation. So yeah, now we have the transfer window. Got to make some moves.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I wouldn't have thought you needed to sign anyone in the forward line, but maybe you do need to find someone who can step in and help, even if it's just like a loan situation. But I think still, they need to find another center back. Konate, I think, has looked better since the Madrid stuff has quieted down.
Yep.
But I feel like he will perform better and I guess maybe more consistently if he knows there's someone there to challenge him, right? Mm-hmm. Virgil's not going anywhere. He's got his spot locked in. Konate, I think, probably felt like he was, kind of that Virgil, I got my spot locked, and then, oh yeah, Madrid, yeah, this is great. My career is panning out wonderfully. And then, we saw his levels and concentration drop, and I think, it's already a thin back line, so you need someone anyway, but I think the competition will help him. Who that might be, I don't know. I feel like the Guehi thing is gone. I don't know, but
dude, City's gonna come in here and swoop him, aren't they?
Well, yeah, could. I mean, Gvardiol just went down. Ruben Diaz maybe is injured. I didn't see anything official on it.
I think, I'm pretty sure he is going to be out for a little bit here. At least a few weeks is what they're saying.
Okay.
So no Stones, no Vardiol, no Diaz. Ake already had a slight knock. So they gotta figure some stuff out there too. It's not looking great for City. I mean, this is a time where, great win for Arsenal against Aston Villa, but man, if Villa would have won that game, it would have made it a really, really interesting top 3.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, Arsenal's got to be feeling pretty good right now, considering they have guys coming back from injury, right? Mm-hmm. They're starting to get full strength again. If I'm them, I'm thinking, how far can the season go, and how can we make this a season to remember, right? I mean,
absolutely,
the cards are being stacked in the right way for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's it's nice to kind of get the injury crisis out of the way early, and let's hope that whatever they need to do, whether it's in training or gym work or nutrition, I don't know, but like try and just keep these guys healthy. Because we can get through that once, but I don't know if we can get through that again, especially as it gets, closer to the end of the season, closer to the crunch time, and all the added pressure that comes with that. So,
Do you think it's worth keeping like the same? So when you had Gabby and Saliba out, do you think it's worth keeping the same rotation of defenders going? That way you're not having to play Saliba and Gabby like every single match for the rest of the year. I mean, considering you have a 6 point lead from City right now, and City's,
mhm.
this is their slump, which we didn't think
Yeah,
it would come. Um,
yeah,
you know, eh, Arsenal feels like they're super deep right now. So like this
mhm.
rotation of players is a one a great thing to have, but also something that I think you guys should really utilize, considering your spot and who's
Yeah,
beneath you.
yeah. I think, I think the first names on the team sheet for Mikel are probably Raya, Saliba, Gabriel every single game, right? Which is great. They're an incredible defensive unit. Um, but I think, yeah, it is time to use that depth. You've brought in some actual like quality backups that you should be able to trust. And yeah, you want your best players to stay fresh for the big games. And I know there's a lot of games, so it's you gotta rotate. I think it would be nice to find a like a rotation that works, because when we were forced into it with uh, Gabriel out, it was like players are pairing up in the center back position that have never done that before in a game, right? So it was new. It was you know it, maybe lack of communication or just like lack of chemistry, whatever. There were cracks there that teams found and were able to exploit, and you don't want that on your rotation. So I think there does need to be some work of having like a quote unquote B team
Mm-hmm.
to rotate in, and like it's okay. It feels fine. They're on the same page.
Your B team is excellent.
Yeah,
What's shocking to me with Arsenal right now is your top goal scorer has 5 goals. Like that's and to be top of the table with
yeah,
that is very very impressive. It shows the wealth is being spread, right? It's not one
hmm
person doing it. Um, I will say, I feel like in the past decade, these title winning teams have had a bona fide star who's just destroying the competition. And
yeah.
Arsenal, like, if you to say right now, who's Arsenal's best player? I don't like just in this season.
um, I mean, I'd probably put it on to like I'd maybe say Declan Rice overall, and he's not even scoring a lot of goals.
Right. That's what I'm
But
saying. It's hard. Like I could pick mine right now. I know exactly who it is. I'm sure a lot of teams know who their best player is, but for you to say like could be anyone, like that's a great
yeah,
thing. That's a big
yeah, yeah,
positive to have. Um, I just hope the goal scoring continues. Like that would be my one fear. Is like with only 5 goals being my top goal scorer, who's gonna break 10?
yeah, yeah. I think I saw the last team to kind of win without a bona fide striker kind of option was one of Pep's City teams when he was just playing with no striker, but that was
Mm-hmm.
even with De Bruyne and might have been Bernardo Silva still, but they both had, I don't know, like 12, 15 goals apiece or something. So still scoring enough. But yeah, I think while it's great to spread the goals around and have multiple areas of threat, it would be nice if there was someone that you could always rely on to grab one goal every game, every other game, whatever. Um, which, I guess ideally would be Jokeres. But I think, you look back to Declan's goal this past weekend against Bournemouth, and Gyökeres brings down that ball, and 4 or 5 Bournemouth players just suction to him and opens the field up completely for Declan to get his shot off. So it's one of those like untrackable
Right.
stats for Gyökeres. Unfortunately, like doesn't show up well anywhere unless you're watching that replay of the match. But it would be nice to just see him get goals as well, which he's trying. I think it'll come. Um, just hopefully sooner rather than later.
First year in the league, first year with the
Mhm.
team. Again, I think he's so lucky that so many of the Arsenal players have been there for so long. So it's really he's just trying to fit in, right?
Yeah.
And similar to the Word situation, right? It's like your time will come. We don't need you right now. Like your time will come, and now we're starting to see it. Like now we're like, okay,
Oh,
like
yeah.
this is what we're paying for. This is why we spent the money on you. And I think the same thing will happen for you guys. I mean, what is he? 25?
I think he's like 27 or something.
Okay, a little older than I thought.
Yeah, that was one of the initial kind of holdups, like 27. The fan base had on him is that he was, of a older profile,
Right.
but it kind of pointed to a lot of Arsenal signings of like, we want to win it now, we want to win it this season.
Yep.
So look, 5 goals. It's for him. It's obviously not the numbers he would want, but I think he's learning how to contribute to the team in other ways, which is still incredibly useful. And yeah, like you said, I think the goals will come. Yeah, hopefully when we need them.
The goal isn't to score the most goals, right? It's to be at the top of the table at the end of the league.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah, absolutely.
and if the season ends today, you did it. So keep the same momentum, and y'all will be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there anyone on the transfer list? Do y'all want anything? Do you need anything? Because right now it doesn't seem like you do.
Yeah, I mean, when we were down a couple defenders, everyone was saying we need to sign a new defender, but now everyone's almost back. I don't know. I mean, I feel like everything's pretty good. Even Gabriel Jesus is back playing. Kai Havertz is getting closer.
Yeah, what's going on? I was expecting to see him this past week.
Yeah,
and I didn't, which is kind of a bummer.
I think he made the bench for maybe not the Bournemouth game, but was he on there for the Villa game? Maybe I forget what, but I think he was on the bench for one of those games, but just hasn't made it out there yet. But from training reports, he's back out there with the team. So I guess maybe just gaining some fitness back, and they all the reports are saying they really took their time with Gabriel Jesus to make sure he was like actually healthy and wouldn't just get injured again and miss another year. And so I think that might just be kind of their strategy now of like, if we've got the cover, let's not try and rush any of these injuries back, especially a longer term one like this. But I think we should probably see Havertz back soon. I mean, he was rumored to be ready to go, mid-November, and then it just keeps kind of dragging out. So
Right.
we'll see. But
I mean,
yeah. Off the top of my head, I can't think of really any one spot that we desperately need. I think, Arteta always says they kind of look for market opportunities. So if something like that happens, I'm sure they'll go for it, or maybe find some young promising player and bring them in, and just kind of get them in and around the team. Not that they'll maybe play too much, but yeah.
well, Chad, our teams play this week. I wish it was under better circumstances. I wish our team was full strength. I wish this game wasn't on a Thursday afternoon. Terrible timing for a primetime game. I don't know why the schedule made that happen, but a lot of games on Wednesday. And then, of course, our finale on Thursday for the match day week. My expectations is we're probably not going to win this game. I'm just being realistic here. Just considering our form, Arsenal's form.
Mhm.
We've been in worse form than Aston Villa, and y'all came out and absolutely smoked them. I really don't want to see a 4-1, 4-0. I would love to see, you know, a 2-1 at the worst.
Mhm.
In our last matchup, Liverpool won off of a free kick. I think looking back, Mikel is kicking himself a little bit, and I feel like this game, he's gonna say we're gonna try to lay into Liverpool. Like this is the time we absolutely destroy them. Because if we look
Mhm.
at our history, there really hasn't been a thumping
No.
in quite a while. I guess in 2024, y'all beat us 3-1. Liverpool had a red card in that game. Kanate got a red card late. Y'all scored again afterwards. So it's, it is what it is. I think this is going to be a statement game. I think Mikel wants to do the same
Yeah.
thing that they did against Villa, right?
Mhm.
Show that there is a big difference between the 1 and the 3 in the table, and he wants to do the same thing with the 1 and the 4. I don't think it's going to be this stalemate how we saw it the first matchup. That's just my take.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like unfortunately both the games for Arsenal and Liverpool this season have just come at weird times. Like that first game was what, match day 3. Both teams just kind of not wanting to go too crazy too soon.
Right.
I mean, Sabasla, yeah, comes out with a incredible free kick. You know, you gotta give it, but then here again, it's like what should have been, ideally a full strength Liverpool team. I mean, we knew Salah would probably not make it because of AFCON, so minus Salah, like. But then again, on a Thursday, it's like it feels like it's just a weird time, and yeah, not the strong team you want to, as a viewer, see and enjoy a game with. It's, um, the Arsenal fan of me is still looking forward to it. I think it'll always be a little bit of a spicy game with Liverpool. But yeah, I think having been able to stand up to Aston Villa and Emery, I think Mikel's cooking up some tweet or Reddit comment or something that to throw up in the dressing room beforehand. And um, there was some, I saw a banner some Liverpool fans had made, where it was Mikel in a dress, and he was always the bridesmaid, never the bride. So
Oh,
I'm sure he's got that picture loaded and ready to show and say, we gotta owe him something here.
oh man, yeah. It's God. Again, I just hope we don't get demolished. I hope we don't get embarrassed. Um, if you were to offer me a draw right now, I would take it so quickly. Um, I just worry we're going to struggle to score.
Mhm.
Considering how Arsenal's defense has been this year, it's been tough for a lot of teams to put a goal in, and especially when we're down our 3 best forwards, right? Isak,
Yeah.
Iketika. I think Iketika is going to play. Um, it's will he be his normal self? I don't know. I don't think
Mhm.
so, and it's possible he didn't play last weekend because they wanted him back for this game.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, Liverpool is kicking themselves for not beating Fulham, right?
Yeah.
Absolute worldy from Reed, a guy who never scores. I mean, he had half of his teammates at AFCON like in disbelief. That was
That's a
one. That
great
was an
video.
awesome video, but dang, did it make me sad. They're like,
Yeah.
Reedy scored. Reedy, oh, painful. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, that game we to lose the 3 points there hurt. Gakpo couldn't believe it on the bench. It was just a dude, just scoring the winner in the 90th plus, getting subbed out. Team is stoked, and then a minute later, your team loses to that goal. Which
It's always those late goals where they remove the jersey. You're just like, there's still time
I
left.
got that
Hang
feeling.
on.
I got that feeling. I said, man, I was like, game's not over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one hurt. That one hurt. It stung.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, I think this game will really depend how Liverpool comes out to play. If they want to come out and like play straight up to Arsenal, I don't think that'll end well. because that's what Arsenal likes. They like to be able to play and have space and you know actually get to do something. Whereas a lot of the times Arsenal struggles, it's when teams sit back and force Arsenal to kind of work their way through two lines of defense. I don't think Liverpool will play that way. You might like lean towards that, but I think I think Slot and the players will want to still be able to assert some dominance in this game rather than just sit back the whole time.
Yeah, I think control is going to be the main focus for Liverpool, and that's something that Arsenal loves to do. So if we can out control them, I think good things are to come. Again, this team is just with not just Salah out, not just Isak out, but like just the other injuries we're having right now. I feel like we're kind of just throwing players out there and seeing what sticks. Yeah. And the last 2 games have been a little shaky. We'll call it 3 with the Wolves game too. Hell, 4 with the Tottenham game in there too. It's been just an interesting month. We survived it without a loss. So if you look at it, glass half full, that's where we're at. But this could feel like a not a nail in our season, but definitely like, okay, we're not winning the title here. Like at that point, if Arsenal wins, they're going to be up 17 points with 17 games to go. That's
oof.
Right. Say it like that. But if you flip it, 11 points away with 17 games to go, like, okay, like you're still better. In it. It sounds a lot better, right? A lot better. So it again, I'm not feeling hopeful just because of our form and how we're scoring and the way Arsenal has just been on a mission, right? It feels like this is their season to absolutely put pressure on everyone else to catch them, and no one is able to right now. So I don't know. My prediction is 2-1 to the Arsenal.
2-1. Kind of feel like just a 2-0. I think it's hard to say. I think Liverpool, even with injury or if Ekitike is back, I think there is certainly enough talent in there to get through this Arsenal defense and score at least a goal. But I mean, if Arsenal's defense is on it, like they have been at times this season, it's we went through that whole period of not even allowing a shot on goal, so it can be a incredibly tall wall to get over, and it's I hope it goes that way, but I think for Liverpool fans and neutral viewers, I think they'll want to see at least a goal on each side.
Did you see what Ekitike posted on Instagram?
No.
A man watching a nuke go off in the ocean.
Interesting.
Very interesting. There's a lot of ways to take that. It happened shortly after Amorim. It happened shortly after Amorim got fired. So I'm it's big question mark on what exactly is going through his head. Or again, could be a number of things considering what this season has brought for our team.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to leave us with one more fun fact if we got nothing else to say here as we hit the hour mark. I found this to be interesting. Matthias de Ligt has never had the same manager for a full season.
I saw this.
Can you believe that?
I can't believe
26 years
this
old.
was the first time I heard about this too. Like
26 and he's had a different manager every year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
streak to have.
Will this be the end of it? Hard to say.
Do you think he realizes that? Does he even think about that? It's like, oh, that is weird.
I bet now. I bet now.
But
being 26 and just having a different manager every year, or you do get transferred, right? So like he has had those moments where none of it's his doing. Yeah, that one shocked me. So that was it. That's my fun fact.
There you go.
All right, man. You got nothing else?
No, just ready for this match on Thursday. And
I'm not,
see how it goes.
but it'll happen one way or another.
That's it.
All right, man. Good chat. We'll check in tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday for the midweek games. But until then, the Hooligans pitch. We're out. Peace.